Tom.
Okay, so my conspiracy theory... No. I am presenting to you the facts that the Denver airport is has a secret underground lair for the Illuminati, and that is their base in which they are controlling the world. They're controlling all of us, and their big base is underneath the Denver airport, and that is where they are establishing the New World Order. So
I'm sold.
It's obvious. It's so obvious as well. And after this, if you don't believe me, then you're just a fucking idiot. So I guess a little bit of backstory. We know what Freemasons are.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't, Freemasons are essentially a group of elite, usually like powerful figures all over the world. And they sort of all hang out in lodges and stuff like that. This isn't a conspiracy. This is like a
legit
like
thing.
An actual legit thing. Like you can look up, there's, Wikipedia and everything on Freemasons. And the whole idea is that you're part of this group, you sort of like buy into it, and you've got your own little secret club, and everyone kind of helps each other out, even from small things like buying from another Freemason's business and stuff like that, to sort of, if you're a policeman that's maybe a Freemason, you let another Freemason off for a crime or something like that. It's not a great thing, but it's not, they're not destroying the world, these Freemasons.
Yeah.
But they are commonly sort of spoke about in the same breath as the Illuminati and the New World Order. The theory is that, they're Freemasons, and it seems like they're just doing a little bit of dodgy business here and there, and it's like a little, rich men's club. But behind closed doors, what they're actually doing is they are trying to take over the world. They're trying to use their power and influence to create what they call a new world order, which is, many people theorize that they're trying to drop the human population down to 2 billion people and basically control everything and everyone. And you're going to have the elite at the top and basically create a dystopian future and start humanity again the way they want to. That is the theory of what the Illuminati is, from my brief research.
Sounds great.
So moving on to the Denver airport, some facts about the Denver airport that is, you can look up. It's all on Wikipedia. It's on their website, everything like that.
I'm still listening, by the way. I'm just going to check a couple of things, but I can still...
That is fine.
hear you.
So
It's off-piste.
the Denver airport is fucking massive. It is
Is
the
that on their
large...
website?
Sorry?
Is that word for
That
word
is on
from
their website. Yeah, it says our airport is fucking massive. Come and fly from our airport or to our airport. To put it into context, it is 52 square miles. That is 135 square kilometers, 33,500 acres. It is the largest airport by land area in the continent, all of North and South America. It's the second largest in the world. It was the first for a very long time, and Saudi Arabia have just built a fuck-off massive one as well. But it's nowhere near the busiest airport in the world. It's not even in like the top. It's not in the top 15. It's 16th. It's not even the busiest in America. There's a couple that are busier. There's Atlanta. I think there's LAX, New York. They're all busier, but Denver Airport is by far the biggest one, the massivest airport in America and almost in the world. And they don't use all of the space. The airport doesn't take up that much space, but there's a huge amount of land that doesn't really get actively used. You've got the main airport with its couple of terminals, the runways, of course, and then there'll be a huge bit of land, and then there's just like a massive building, and then there's another massive building, like maybe like airplane hangars, stuff like that. But again, it's absolutely huge compared to any other airport in the world in terms of the traffic that it gets going through it. When it was being built, the budget was initially $1.5 billion was how much it was going to cost. And this was back in, I think this was back in the 90s, is when it was built. $1.5 billion. The actual amount that it cost is disputed. There's no known value of how much it cost, but it's estimated that it cost between $3.5 billion to $5 billion. So anywhere between $2 to $3.5 billion on top of what it was actually budgeted for. And there's no real breakdown of where that money went. They have admitted that, yeah, there was overspending and there was a lot of delays during the construction, but there's no itemized bill on where all that money went. But billions and billions of taxpayers' dollars went into building this airport with not a huge amount to actually show for where the money actually went.
Well, you got second biggest airport in the world. I mean,
It is. It also has the tallest control tower in North America as well. That's nothing about that really.
But it is a fact. It's probably the most factual thing you're going to say.
So what Denver Airport claims was responsible for the overspending was that there was a lot of changes during the construction. So they tried to build a big foundation that had active buildings in it. And then they ended up scrapping the project and starting again, is what they claim a lot of the budget went into. What they essentially done was they built 5 massive separate buildings, all very close to each other, that were sort of lower than ground level, and they were about 5 stories tall, and the buildings were pretty much finished. And there's like aerial photos of these buildings, and they all seem perfectly fine and functional. And then they scrapped the project, and what they done was they just covered them up and built on top of these buildings, and said, "Oh no, it's too much money to knock them down and destroy them, and we can't use them, so we're just going to build on top of them." Bit weird, right? So now there's just there's literally tons of buildings underneath the Denver airport that are apparently not being used. Denver,
if that is true, that'd be well cool to see.
It would be well cool.
Really weird.
Denver Airport do let journalists go in and explore the underground.
That's sick.
But no one's been underground the underground. Denver Airport has 6 layers to its basement. Quite a lot.
Yeah.
6 layers underneath it. All with essentially a crazy maze of tunnels. Now,
that's really weird.
They've just got tunnels that go on for miles. You've got to remember, 52 square miles of land that they have that link all these underground buildings and all these underground tunnels that no one has the time to explore. Like you could send journalists down there for days and they wouldn't be able to even touch half of what's down there.
Probably not even allowed, right? There's probably some areas that...
And they'll claim it's for security reasons, right? That it's an airport, you can't have people wandering around and all stuff like that. You know, it's all just to try and keep it all secret. They claim that the massive series of tunnels was because when they were trying to build it, they tried to invent this new groundbreaking baggage handling system that was going to automate taking your baggage from the plane to the luggage collection place. Like the baggage handling
claim.
Baggage claim. So we're going to build this massive system, took it straight from the plane to baggage claim, and it was going to go through these all series of tunnels underground. They said they worked on it and it cost a lot of money to build all these tunnels, but it just didn't work, so they scrapped it and just kept the traditional baggage claim system that we have now, where someone drives it to the terminal pretty much on one of those cars. They said it was due to logistical issues, technological issues, and it was going to cost even more money. There's also a massive bunker underneath the airport as well, which for a very long time, Denver Airport denied that there was any hidden bunkers underground. They said that the only buildings underground were those disused ones and the tunnels, until there was a maximum readiness drill during Obama's presidency, where they had to enact as if there was a nationwide terrorist attack or a national emergency. And Obama was flown to Denver Airport, and that's all they know, is that Air Force One flew to Denver Airport, and that's where Obama hid.
So it's going to be like a nuclear bunker or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, and at that point, Denver Airport have said that there is an underground hideout. They won't use the word bunker or say that it's anything that's going to protect them against any kind of nuclear fallout or any kind of disaster. But why else would you send the president of the United States there unless it was going to be pretty much impenetrable to anything?
And it'd also, but for that regard, it would be silly to say that it was a bunker there.
Yeah.
Because then you would just bomb that directly or something. Or,
yeah. And you would think that flying to an airport would be one of the least safe things to do during a maximum readiness drill. If you was trying to be as safe as possible, you'd think surely he would bunker down in the White House, which pretty sure has a big fuck off bunker underneath it.
Yeah.
Sure, the White House would be like, if the Russians sent a nuke, they'd be like,
White House,
fucking get that White House
right
away, right?
Yeah. But instead, no one's gonna bomb Denver, Colorado airport. It's too big. You can't bomb the whole thing, right?
It's unbombable.
So they're just some facts about sort of like the construction, the overspending, the time it took to build it was years after what it was what it was originally planned to be, and just the sort of made up logistical reasons behind it all. The theory, of course, is that these bunkers, these tunnels, are being used by the Illuminati to hide, and this is their main lodge. So the Freemasons, they host their meeting in what they call lodges, and there's usually like a Grand Master.
Has anyone been to
maybe
one?
not actually, that's the KKK.
Anyone been to a Mason's Lodge?
No. Have you?
I have been to Mason's Lodge.
How was it?
It was... Actually, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. I haven't been to Mason's Lodge. I have played...
Was it someone's lodge?
No, it was...
named
We played a Mason's gig. We played a gig for the Masons, and it was like one of their sort of events, but it wasn't at the lodge. It was at like a golf club. It was a golf club.
Yeah, same
a
thing.
Function room at a golf club. But it was the Masons, and we did see them do their like little Masons dance. It's not a dance, like a sort of song, and they all sing this song
like a ritual.
In my head, this is probably I'm just instantly Mandela affected, but I know this is not what they did. But in my head, they sang that song from The Simpsons, like "Who keeps the metric system down? We do." That's exactly what they sang.
They actually sang like a little...
But it was something like that.
They did genuinely do a little...
It's a cult, right?
Yeah, they like play a tape and they all sing this like... And they just sing like, "Thank you for the ladies. They bring us tea." Or it's not quite that, but...
That's mental.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because it's a fucking cult. That's what it is, right?
It's a little culty.
Yeah. So, one thing that links the Denver airport... One of many things that link the Denver airport to the Freemasons or Illuminati is when it was finished, there is a large commemorative stone that's placed in the essentially like the main hall of the airport. Anyone can walk past this huge stone. I'll show it to you in a second. And it looks like this. Go onto our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see the picture on the screen. And it says Denver International Airport. It has the name of the mayor at the time. And it says, "The time capsule beneath this stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094. So I think it was finished. The airport was finished in 1994. Yeah. So they basically put a time capsule there and said in 100 years you can open this capsule. Of course, no one knows what's under there. Might not be anything crazy, but it could be. Now, you'll notice that it says dedication capstone laid by, and it has the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge. So that is one well-known Freemasons lodge in America. And then the other one, which is the most worshipful Grand Lodge of blah, 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 Colorado. So 2 Freemasons lodges have dedicated this capstone to the airport.
That's the Freemasons logo in the middle, right?
That is the Freemasons logo in the middle. So it's a compass and like a set square, like an angle ruler.
Yeah.
And it has a G in the middle.
Does anyone know the Mason's handshake?
I saw it in a TV show.
I do.
It's like
it's this. No.
What? Oh, you toss off each other's thumb, do you?
Yeah. You want to go, don't you, George?
I'll turn the cameras off.
I think I did. I didn't see that in a TV show.
I use my other thumb.
My friend does that. That's a great handshake, isn't it?
So,
What's the G stand for in there?
I don't know.
Logo?
Sometimes it is displayed without the G, and sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, so
Doesn't it sometimes have the I that's on the dollar?
I don't know if that's something that they do or if that's something that people do.
Because that's like an Illuminati thing.
Yeah, so the Illuminati is like the triangle with the I,
okay.
and I think people put those two together as if to show
There might
the
be
Freemasons and
another
the Illuminati
Mandela
together. But I mean, it has a triangle in it.
Is there is a Freemason anything to do with like your stone mason? Is the idea of a mason? Is that what's the ending?
That's
of the
where
word?
it initially came from. I did
Were they
briefly look into it.
stonemasons,
I didn't take a note down, but it originally came from that sort of era.
Yeah,
and it started off as just essentially like a working men's club. Like the men in that that owned businesses would sort of help each other out. Like they had their own little club where it's like, you know, if you want to borrow something of mine, just borrow it. If, you know, we help each other out and we can help each other, you know, grow wealth and power.
Yeah.
And eventually, sort of as humanity's gone on and as the Freemasons Club has become cult has become more powerful, then it has a bigger effect on society. Instead of it being a small town where these few people that are quite rich all help each other out, it's a global, you know, conspiracy.
Well, people I know got like dads that are in the Masons and that, and they say, I had someone who knows dad went to the Masons and then was eventually like, nah, fuck that, because apparently like he tried to get someone to help him do something and it just didn't happen. Or something, you know, you meant to give each other like a favourable deal maybe on a car, or if you're the local car deal or something, and it was something where no one would help him out or whatever, and he was just like, well, it's just a load of bollocks, isn't it? Just a load of blokes, a good excuse to go out and have a piss up.
Yeah. Your friend hadn't worked his way high enough in the Freemasons Club. You've got to put the time in.
Yeah.
And you have to be in. You have to be
Or is it really
trusted.
That there's lots of these other Freemasons clubs which are just that, men's clubs.
Possibly. Yeah.
There's the one true...
To throw you off the scent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one true club.
Yeah.
Technically, there is no... each Freemasons Lodge operates separately,
No
and they do not
Freemasonry.
they do not recognise each other as Freemasons Lodge. They all act individually.
Yeah.
So essentially, there's no headquarters apparently of the Freemasons.
Right.
Not above ground anyway. It's underneath the Denver airport.
There's no central governing body. Though.
No. They're all their own individual body.
Okay.
Apparently.
Is it like a franchise though? You can apply to someone and you get your little badge and like menus that you can all put out.
Yeah. There's multiple different layers of being a Freemason. I can't remember all of the names of the different tiers that you can work your way up to, but essentially you start out, I think, as just a Mason, and then you work your way up and you have maybe like 4 levels or so until you're at the top. And I imagine that is when you're conscripted to become part of the evil cabal of you know, New World Order.
So the one I know about is just like local ones, and you just sort of become, when you're like, everyone basically has a turn to run it. Is there like the Masons president every term, whatever they have a term as,
right?
And it just goes round. Everyone does it, like but then I never found out what's above that though.
Maybe Essex Mason lodges, you know, they're their own little thing, and it is just a curry and a beer.
Yeah, well, they are their own little thing, but the Masons Lodge that's got the Prime Minister and all his mates in.
Yeah, they're like
that's a tier up, and they all drink each other's blood and hide reptilians.
Yeah, it's unlikely that, you know, in every town in most of the Western world there's going to be a Freemasons Lodge that has someone who's in the know of, you know, when it comes to the Illuminati and New World Order. Yeah. But there are. not in every lodge. But there are some lodges. That are that, But once you go higher up, there will be enough. Yeah. So the capstone, of course, I guess that's, you know, not too malicious, just having the capstone dedicated by the Freemasons. Yeah. Other than the fact... I don't think malicious is the word you want. Underneath, it also says New World Airport Commission contributors, and it has a couple of names there. New World Airport Commission. New World Order. Well, if you look up New World Airport Commission, right, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing. The only thing that will come up if you type in New World Airport Commission is this Denver Airport stone.
That's pretty
Like
heavy.
that's the only thing that will come up. And
That
of course,
actually is quite heavy.
a lot of people that come up with like instantly it comes up conspiracy theories, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just people speaking the truth, and but it doesn't exist. I tried looking it up, and I tried finding. I even went to different browsers. I was like, okay, maybe Google won't supply it, but I'll Bing it, and I'll try and Bing.
DuckDuckGo.
I did, and it all just comes back to this stone. Like this is the only thing in the world that is related to the New World Airport Commission.
Did you ask Jeeves?
I didn't.
Jeeves is on holiday.
He would have
Do you
known.
even know what that is?
Yeah, it's old school. Like,
James has been on holiday since like 2007.
yeah.
He's not there anymore.
That was when Tom was like
Yeah, I was just a little
in primary
little
school.
toddler. Yeah. So that's the first thing that sort of grabbed people's attention, right? The other thing is the aesthetic and the artistic design behind the airport as well. So most airports are pretty similar, right? You go in, it's all just tiled, it's all pretty plain. It's usually white walls, windows, stuff like that. Black and yellow signs telling you where to go and all that kind of shit. And then maybe in the arrivals lounge or like the corridors when you arrive and you walk into baggage claim, you've usually got some cultural art on the walls. So maybe if you arrive at Stansted, London, you're going to have some pictures of Big Ben and the local tourist destinations, some people having fun in that country, beaches and advertisements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Denver Airport doesn't have that. It doesn't have come skiing in Colorado.
Yeah.
It doesn't have come smoke weed in Colorado. It doesn't have any of that stuff. It has huge murals depicting pretty horrific scenes, like pretty heavy stuff. I'll show you them in a second as well.
Is there one of like a gas, something in a gas mask?
It has, yeah.
That's weird.
Now that I do have that one. So it's someone who looks, to be honest, pretty
Fucking hell, that's horrible.
pretty Nazi-like, right?
Yeah.
Like that the military outfit that he's wearing. He's holding a gun that looks like like an AK-47 with a knife on the end, and he has a huge knife.
Looks like an Aladdin sword.
What the
Big
fuck
Aladdin
is that?
sword,
Yeah.
and he's stabbing a dove. the universal symbol of peace,
Yeah.
world
We'll have
peace,
this on the
represented by a
Instagram
dove,
and
and
the
he's being
YouTube
stabbed.
channel.
And there's
see.
some sleeping children that are hiding, a mother holding a dead baby, weeping,
Is this really in the airport?
and this is in the arrivals section of Denver Airport. You come in, this is what you see when you land at Denver
What?
Airport.
There's a few of them, I think.
There
Isn't
is
there
another
with,
one,
like,
yeah.
loads of kids?
I don't have them saved here, but they'll be on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. One of them is called Peace and Harmony in Nature, and it's said to symbolise environmental destruction versus environmental healing. And to be honest, it just looks horrible as well. It's just a bunch of people standing around crying the world falling to shit.
What the fuck?
Which is
Yeah, it's mental.
Like, whatever happened, again, it's like the thing we said before. Whatever this is, that's some weird fucked up shit. Like, what is going on there? And why did they do that? Who's fucking... Or was it just a really bad judgment call on whose idea it was to paint the picture that week?
Yeah.
And they got this dude and they're like... Afterwards, they're sitting there looking at you like...
Yeah.
Are you sure we're going to go with that?
So
you sure that's the one you want?
So that one I showed you there was called Children of the World Dream of Peace.
What, the one you just showed us?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, that really fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it's said to the meaning is meant to be children from many cultures coming together to destroy swords and daggers that are sheathed in the flags of many nations.
So do we know like the artist that did this and stuff? And they've like, yeah.
Have
And
they been arrested yet?
I should have looked more into the artist himself, but I'm sure he's an evil fuck. I mean, you don't have to take it. It doesn't take a genius to
Just
look at that.
before you move on, apologies to that artist for calling you an evil fuck. Please do not sue us at the Curious Cast.
No,
those views are Tom's views and not the views of myself or Robert Oliver.
Yeah, I don't take it back at all. It's said to symbolise what I just said, but obviously it doesn't. It's clear that it's just depicting the end of the world, what the Illuminati want, the destruction of a peaceful humanity, and just the end of times, the new world order.
But then also, like, if that if they were, if that is what they want in the shit, then, and they're supposed to be all secret, is it really the best idea to just paint a fucking picture of it and put it on top of your secret
They're
lair?
rubbing it in our faces, Rob. They know they're getting away with it.
Just like these aliens.
Just like the aliens that pop up and fly away before we can catch them.
Is it like part of their power trip that they're like, fuck you, hidden in plain sight? Like, these motherfuckers have got no idea.
That's exactly what they want.
I guess they want to see it when they get into the arrival
Just
lounge.
Just like the layout of the runways at Denver Airport.
Oh, okay. I like this bit. Right.
What does that look like to you? That look a bit like a swastika? It does. There you go.
I guess it does.
It's a bit like a swastika,
like
right?
A swastika.
But then why a swastika of all the... Like, because the Illuminati are also Nazis.
Yeah.
What, so that they were always Nazis? Like, Nazis were Illuminati to start with, or...
You've gone from Freemasons to Illuminati all of a sudden.
No, there was no all of a sudden.
They're one in the same,
one
George.
In the same, yeah. He spent about 15 minutes explaining how
No,
they're one in the same. Yeah, he
that.
fucking did.
I did.
He did.
I
He
don't
spent a
think
good...
he did.
The whole start of this was explaining why the Freemasons were the Illuminati.
All right, okay.
The Freemasons are the Illuminati.
Yeah.
George.
But the Illuminati came from somewhere else.
Well, listen back to this.
No, that's what they want you to think.
So then...
Just look into it.
Right, okay.
I'll
look into
research it, man.
Look into it, yeah.
We'll do an Illuminati special.
So many specials. So those murals are not the only thing. There is paintings similar to that all over Denver Airport.
And they're gargoyles as well.
There's gargoyles that are like basically peering down on you while you're, sitting and having your coffee and stuff.
Is this all just like a terrible design choice? Like whatever fucker they got into architect this or whatever, or design it and that. It's just like, mate.
Rob, what's more likely that it's just poor artistic choice and bad architectural planning, or that there is an evil group of
global conspiracies
that are trying to take over the world, and they're rubbing it in our face by painting walls and putting gargoyles in baggage claim?
I guess when you put it like that, that is more likely.
Exactly. Think about it, man.
Think, Rob.
Research it.
Yeah. One other creepy thing is outside of the Denver airport, there is a incredibly massive horse sculpture. It stands 32 feet tall.
How big is it?
32 feet tall.
Incredibly massive.
Incredibly massive. It is the massivest horse you'll find in Colorado. It's painted completely blue, and it has illuminated red glowing demonic eyes.
I've got to go and see this airport.
It's apparently called Blue Mustang, but it's commonly referred to as Blucifer.
You got a picture of this? I really want to see this.
I do. It's absolutely massive.
That's fucking horrible as well.
And it look horrible.
What, looks fucking rank.
Yeah.
I might have nightmares about that tonight. What the fuck
night,
is that?
They like glow the eyes, don't they?
Yeah, they glow red.
Yeah.
Glow red. Just like the Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Glowing red eyes.
Them lads.
Yeah. It's the end of days. It's mostly famous for the fact, not only for its demonic, horrible appearance, but the fact that it killed its creator. During construction, as the final touches were being put onto this horse, the head fell off and crushed the artist it severed an artery in his leg, and he bled out right there all over Blucifer, and he was dead. It killed the man who created it. That's the claim.
I was going to say it.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
That's what they want you to think.
They just killed that motherfucker.
Either they killed him and blamed it on poor Blucifer, or Blucifer could be haunted. I'm either or on the issue, really.
I thought you was going to say, or the creator had found out about this conspiracy.
Horrible.
It's fucking horrible. I hate that.
Yeah. Another thing to mention, back on sort of like the Nazi, racism side of things, the outside of Denver Airport, I've only just kind of noticed this, so I'm making this up as I go along, but I'm sure it pretty much links in. The top of Denver Airport is shaped like multiple white, pointy, hooded shapes. I think they're KKK hoods on top of Denver Airport there.
So you got the Ku Klux Klan,
Yep.
Illuminati,
They're all the same thing
And the
now.
Nazis.
and the Nazis.
Yep, they're all the same thing.
And Lucifer.
Yeah.
Lucifer.
So, yeah, I want you to go away and think about this. And again, just think about all we've discussed. And just think about what's more likely. Is it, like we said, that they tried to build something, it didn't work, so they just built it again, and it cost a lot of money?
That is the maddest part of the whole thing. That, like, it does seem that at bare minimum, there is some actual sort of base that maybe they use for military shit, and obviously they're not going to fucking tell you. Or it's a secret hiding place for, nuclear bunker or something. Bare minimum.
Could be where they're hiding your aliens.
There could be fucking all the aliens
Yeah.
down there, yeah.
The thing is with that, an airport is not the best place to, keep things secret, because you've got so many people just around there.
Oh, yeah, well, then maybe that is the best place then.
It is.
Because
Hiding in
so
plain
much
sight.
and there's so much noise.
Yeah.
There's so much other radar,
So much security.
traffic
Yeah, I
noise,
guess so,
physical noise.
Yeah.
Already it's security like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
No one's questioning the amount of security there is there.
Yeah. So
That's
back
true.
in, I can't remember if it was either like 2004, 2007, something like that. At the same time, or I think it was within the space of 30 minutes or so, 14 windows on separate planes just exploded for no reason. They all just parked up, waiting for their next flight, whatever. And it caused massive disruptions. Obviously, loads of flights just couldn't take off or anything like that. So it was like really well documented. But 14 planes had their windows just explode. The theory behind that is that there's like a testing ground underneath, hidden at Denver Airport, that they could be testing some kind of like electromagnetic weapons, some kind of EMP device, something that would cause a shock that would resonate and destroy windows.
Some sort of like
Yeah, some kind of that same kind of technology that was being used to propel.
You need to get hired by.
The same kind of technology that was being used to propel the aliens that we spoke about earlier in the episode.
Bob Lazar.
Could be used
moving
to-
through gravity.
Yeah,
But no, that's not the same, because manipulating gravity in that way doesn't create a shockwave. That's
well,
the
no,
point.
we're just trying it. We're testing.
So we failed.
Yeah,
So it created
and they went, oh shit.
instead
It
of
was
a,
displacing gravity. I remember it now.
Oh,
Bob
yeah.
Lazar. It was
Yeah.
moving it from the front to the back.
That's it.
Yeah,
What's the sound effect for that?
That was wasn't it more like a no.
But yeah, it's a fucked up place. They're obviously hiding something down there. There's lots of different theories. There's lots of theories that it could be like similar to what you've spoke about. They could be hiding aliens. They could be hiding secret military technology down there.
Ark of the Covenant. I saw that in Indiana Jones. Maybe that's.
Yeah.
Ark of the Covenant could be down there. It's in like the general museum of the Illuminati. All the shit they've got. They've got the Ark of the Covenant chilling out there. Hitler's fucking ashes.
Yeah. Oh, he ain't dead.
Yeah, dead. Hitler's just down there. Hitler's living in fucking Austria or something.
That was going to be my.
Of all the
South
places.
South America or something.
Yeah, Argentina, right?
Argentina.
Yeah, it was going to be my conspiracy theory, but
That's a fucking great one. That
It is a great one.
Yeah.
I might still have it on.
I mean, that's not even a conspiracy theory.
I was thinking about doing that one. He's had plastic surgery and everything, sorted his face out.
Yeah.
There is like
Could-
actual, isn't there? Like there is actually some mad Austrian German like village in South America. Like that is a place.
Oh
that
yeah,
exists.
loads of them.
Like
Loads of them
in
fled there.
Argentina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and loads
There
of them legit did fled there, and there are actual Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell
Ancestors.
you. I can tell you about that because, as you know, I'm a bit of a history nerd as well.
Yeah.
Called the Rat Lines in World War II,
Yeah.
and a huge supporter of all the Nazis fleeing to South America was the Catholic Church.
Was it?
Yeah, during the
Oh
Second
yeah, they're
World
well
War.
fucked.
Dirty
The,
fucking buggers.
Yeah.
They were helping.
We're very anti-Catholic Church here on the Curious Cast.
Hey, come on! You can't be just
Come after us.
Right, okay. Don't say that. But yeah, so it was more like priests, like high-level priests that were friends with some of these SS members.
Fucking were. Yeah. Well, because you know what it was? Because they're all fucking dirty nonces and all.
Yep.
They're all part of the Illuminati. So the priests are all fucking. Look at them.
This is why I said that he hadn't mentioned that the Freemasons were Illuminati, because the Illuminati, as far as I'm aware, their basis was from a split in the Catholic Church back in the 1600s.
All the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
They're all linked.
Man.
The Illuminati,
They might have
the
come,
Nazis.
All of them.
All them cunts.
Yeah. They might have come from separate places. It's like fucking fish evolve differently, but they live in the same pond. Like they do they do the same shit.
There is an alien thing about that as well, about how evolving independently and coming up with the same fucking ideas is like why no one's contacted us, because they've all and gone.
Freemasons and the Illuminati, they're all the same shit.
You know
Catholic
what they're all
Church,
doing?
they're in on it.
On their fucking meetings, they're at these top meetings drinking that fucking beer.
Oh.
Drinking that. Some aliens brought them it. Like, he's brought around a few kegs.
Oh, I'm kind of in now. That's where the budget went.
Yeah.
On the topic of Nazis in South America, you should watch or listen to one of Joe Rogan's episodes. If I can't quite remember the name of the one of the episode, but it was about a guy who had been to, I think he was a journalist or something.
Yeah, I think I've seen
like
that
an
one.
ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And he was in South America at like this, wasn't so much a village, but like a homestead, like a little colony almost.
Yeah.
And it was all, they were like descendants from German and Austrians that were Nazis, and a lot of them have still got like Nazi
got the fucking SS
medals and
uniform on
shit,
display and shit. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you wrapped up, Tom, as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've convinced you.
But you have convinced me.
I like the
Like
Denver
I said, if you
Airport,
don't believe
good.
me, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
We should, hopefully someone listening, because I know we have got a few listeners in the US, maybe someone's travelled through Denver Airport that might want to let us know their thoughts about
I read, obviously there's a lot of this sort of, there's a lot of people covering this online, a lot of woke people, and people do say, like, even people that don't believe in the truth are... do say, okay, when you go through there, it is fucking weird. Like, it is weird that you're like standing there, like getting your passport checked, and there's like a fucking demonic like troll looking at you from the corner and shit like that. Like the eyes follow you, shit like that. Like
bare minimum, it's weird.
Yeah,
fucking weird. Yeah.